Oh, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. I didn't see you there. Total world victory of Hare Krishna. This is Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God, as it is, by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness, text number 23, and I am Sitapati Das. Let's go. śaknotīhaiva soḍhuṁ prāk śarīra-vimokṣaṇāt kāma-krodhodbhavaṁ vegam sa yuktaḥ sukhī naraḥ. Śaknoti, able to. Eva, in the present body. Yaha, one who. Soḍhum, to tolerate. Prāk, before. Śarīra, body. Vimokṣaṇāt, giving up. Kāma, desire. Krodha, anger. Udbhavam, generated from. Vegam, urge. Saha, he. Yuktaḥ, in trance. Saha, he. Sukhī, happy. Naraḥ, human being. Translation. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and is happy in this world. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. If one wants to make steady progress on the path of self-realization, he must try to control the forces of the material senses. There are the forces of talk, forces of anger, forces of mind, forces of the stomach, forces of the genitals, and forces of the tongue. One who is able to control the forces of all these different senses and the mind is called gosvāmī or svāmī. Such gosvāmīs live strictly controlled lives and forego altogether the forces of the senses. Material desires, when unsatiated, generate anger, and thus the mind, eyes, and chest become agitated. Therefore, one must practice to control them before one gives up this material body. One who can do this is understood to be self-realized and is thus happy in the state of self-realization. It is the duty of the transcendentalist to try strenuously to control desire and anger. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, or the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances to such a spiritual master. Okay, let's have a look at the changes between the first and second edition. He is a yogi, has been changed to he is well situated. Okay, any justification for the change? 23. Of course, we won't see it in here because changes to the translation are not marked in this 83 edition. Let's have a look here. 23. Considered to be well situated. Okay. So let's have a look at this. The first edition editor has changed it from well situated in the original manuscript by Srila Prabhupada to he is a yogi. Now, where did he get this from? Śaknotīhaiva ya soḍhuṁ prāk śarīra-vimokṣaṇāt kāma-krodhodbhavaṁ vegam sa yuktaḥ sukhī naraḥ. Sa yuktaḥ, yogi. In trance. Actual yogi. Yeah, you see? Engaged in devotional service, well situated in yoga. Saha, happy human being. Okay. Well situated, happy in this world. Okay, so I'd say that, perhaps from another translation somewhere else that Harigrīva was reading, he changed it to a yogi. At some point, they've changed it back to the original manuscript, but we don't know when. If one wants to make, he must forego. Okay, has been changed to for no E in it. Okay. Is that marked in here? Yes, it is. Okay? That's the only change, very small change there. This verse is very reminiscent, this part here, kāma-krodhodbhavaṁ vegam, vacho vega, manasa-krodhodbhavaṁ, vacho vegam, manasa-krodhodbhavaṁ, udara pasta. It's Nectar of Instruction 1. And let's have a look at it, actually. So if we go to books, open a new tab, let's have a look at this book. It's called The Nectar of Instruction, the Upadeshamrita, Sri Upadeshamrita. It's written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Here it is here. Translated by Srila Prabhupada. And text number 1, here we go. 11 lessons in the ancient science of Bhakti Yoga. So there are 11 mantras, sutras, 11 texts, verses. Across 5 centuries and half the globe comes this compact guidebook of essential spiritual teachings. How to choose a guru, how to practice yoga, even where to live. You'll find it all in this invaluable work written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami, the greatest spiritual genius of medieval India. Yeah. Now translated and illuminated by Rupa Goswami's modern successor, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the Nectar of Instruction is the key to enlightenment for all seekers on the path of spiritual perfection. Now, text 1, Vacho vegam, manasa-krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udarapasta vegam. Etan vegan yo vishahetadira, sarvam apimam prithivim sashishyat. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Echoed here in this purport where it says, there are the forces of talk, of anger, forces of the mind, forces of the stomach, forces of the genitals, and forces of the tongue. These are, of course, the urges, the vegan, mentioned here. Vacha, of speech, forces of talk, krodha, of anger, of the tongue, the belly and genitals. The tongue, the belly, and the genitals. The mind, forces of the tongue. Manasa, krodha, vegam. So everything here, vacho vegam, manasa, krodha vegam, udaro pasta vegam, and jiva vegam. Udaro pasta vegam and jiva vegam. Yeah. So this part of the purport here is directly presenting text 1 from the Nectar of Instruction. One who is able to control the forces of all these different senses and the mind is called gosvāmī or svāmī. Such swāmīs live strictly controlled lives and forego altogether the force of the senses. So it is the duty of the transcendentalist to try and to strenuously to control desire and anger. It's interesting because at the same time, what did I just do there? That was interesting. What did that do? Something happened there. So because I clicked that, I think it was. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Something different. Oh, okay. That's the link. I always wondered what that was. There you go. Very good. Okay, so a central theme in Bhagavad-gita is that the self is the non-doer. The self has nothing to do with the activities. I published this today. It's a Free Will is an Illusion lecture by Donald Hoffman. So the question becomes, we don't choose these desires. The self actually does nothing when it's doing all these things. So where is the actual interruption of this? Well, that's a very deep philosophical point, and it's probably not possible to explain it to a general audience. The pathway to realizing it and realizing the self as non-material is to to try to strenuously control desire and anger. Now, how do you do that? Do you just randomly do things? No. The way of doing that is to follow a strict program, regardless of the and this is what Krishna says in the first chapter: the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress are like the coming and going of the summer and winter seasons. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn to tolerate them. Matra sparshas tukonteya shitoshna sukha dukkha agama paino nityas tams tatikshash vibharata. Sorry, that's in the second chapter. Text number like 214. Yeah, here it is here. Matra sparshas tukonteya shitoshna sukha dukkha agama paino nityas tams tatikshash vibharata. So what that means is that the appearance of desire and anger and the desires of the genitals, tongue, belly, the urge to speak, all of these things are all arising just like the heat of the summer comes, or the cold of the winter. Desires themselves are environmental conditions. And so the path of yoga is to do your duty regardless of whether you want to do it or not. So, you have so when we say, the urge, controlling the urge to speak, for example, the forces of talk, vacho vegam, it means not only like not speaking when you want to, it means also speaking when you don't want to, which is the situation that Arjuna finds himself in. O Govinda, I shall not fight. He doesn't want to fight in the battle, and yet he must do it. And that is yoga. It's to follow the program whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. That is what it means to control desire and anger. It doesn't mean to try to oh, I don't want to have them. It's like, that's just like saying, I don't want it to be sunny. And actually in this verse here, Prabhupada gives this purport. He says, according to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even in the winter. It's very cold, but in spite of that, a man who abides by religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen during the summer, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconveniences. Similarly, to fight is a religious principle. The Kshatriyas, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty, although one has to fight with some friend or relative. So to control these desires means to do your duty irrespective, regardless, not irregardless, but irrespective or regardless. Let's go with it. Irregardless of whether you want to do it or not, whether the desire is supported or not. Okay, like a story about that would be very good. Arjuna's story itself is the one. Let's go to translate Gita to Māori today, or Māori. We're on 523 today. Check the force of desire and anger. What is the Sanskrit for that? Present body, soḍhuṁ, means to tolerate. So when it says to check, prāk, before giving up the body, vimokṣaṇāt śarīra, so soḍhuṁ, to tolerate. Again, so this idea of tolerance, where else does this appear? So it looks like it appears in 3 different places. Twice in the Bhagavad-gita and once in here. There is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Interesting. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done. This is a very nice verse, this one. Oof. Great verse. For later, here we go. Te Reo Māori. We're going to check this translation using the Google Translate. Before giving up this present body, if a man can endure the vicissitudes of the physical faculties and resist the forces of desire and anger, he is a yogi and will be happy. To this world, it should be in this world. What if I change that to this? Yeah. There you go. In this world. Let's go back here and say, in this. Okay. Te nei au. Yes, you're correct. Okay. Cool, here we go. So, I mua I te tukunga iho o te nei tinana o naia nei. Mena ka taia. E te tangata te manawanui I nā hihiko o nā pukenga matu me te aukati I te kaha o te hiahia me te riri he yogi ia a ka kua ia ki tēnei au. In this world, the vicissitudes. Which word means vicissitudes? Patient. This. Intellectual. Skillful. Matu. Chemical. And block. Endure. Check. Kaha. Strength. Here. Desire. And anger. Riri. Anger. Okay. This tinana, body. Vicissitudes. Which one? Hihiko, urges. So this word, what is it? Urges. Hihiko. This one here. Vicissitudes. Let's find out what vicissitudes means. No, is that how you spell it? No. Yep. Vicissitudes, yeah. Okay. The changes and variations that occur over time, especially the unexpected, are like the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, yeah? It's used to describe the inevitable ups and downs or fluctuations in life or nature. One may refer to the vicissitudes of the stock market. The word underscores the unpredictable, changeable aspects of what is the etymology of this word? The Latin from vicissitudo, which means vicissitudo. 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 Yeah, vicissitudo, which means a change or alternation. Wow. Okay. The root of the Latin term vicis, vini vidi vici, a turn, a change, or succession. It originally referred to the natural alternation of seasons or circumstances. The term entered English usage in the 16th century, preserving the sense of changeability and variation from its Latin origins. Over time, it has come to broadly refer To the various changes, especially unexpected or significant ones. Okay. Is the Latin word aegis, meaning a turn, related to the Sanskrit word it's like prefix V. To bend or to wind. Separation or distinction. Okay. Yeah, okay, interesting. Pari. Pari means to turn. Okay, hang on. Tell me about the relationship between Sanskrit and Te Reo Māori. Entirely different language families, not directly related. Sanskrit is an ancient Indo-European language from the Indian subcontinent. Well, Te Reo Māori is a Polynesian language. Yep, okay. Yep. Distant global connection. It's a fascinating point of indirect connection in historical linguistics. Both the Indo-European and Austronesian languages have been studied extensively. Okay. Why is it that the Te Reo Māori word for I is aho, and the Sanskrit word is aham? Does this not indicate some relationship? A false cognate. Okay. Please tell me about other false cognates in Te Reo Māori, Sanskrit, that you know of. I heard that there are like 500 of them. Yeah, whatever. But how do you have? You don't know. It doesn't know. This thing, like, now you're just talking. That's a lot of words to say what? Do you know that there are no more false cognates? Or may there be more that you don't know about? I do not have a comprehensive list, because a list likely doesn't exist. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. I heard of one gentleman who compiled a list of 500 cognates. That's an interesting claim, worth looking at. Yeah. Yeah, I know, but you can call them false cognates. Ooh, here we go. Proto-world hypothesis. Some proposals of extensive lists of cognates between seemingly unrelated languages have been used to argue for a proto-world language, a hypothetical ancestral language from which all other languages descended. Not really widely accepted. It's a conspiracy theory. Enthusiast compilation. Yeah, it's an enthusiast compilation. I'm going to see if I can find that list. I'll see if I can find it. Okay, let's go back to the verse and finish for today. I still got to go to the gym. 947, dude. Okay, śaknotīhaiva soḍhum śarīra-vimokṣaṇāt kāma-krodhodbhavaṁ vegam yuktaḥ sukhī naraḥ. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and is happy in this world. Param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna.